Okay, we're gonna evaluate today this interview Mr. Beast um had with Joe Rogan. He speaks on how success comes down to four factors: time, friend group, iterations made each day, improving your skill level, and consuming all knowledge available. Now let's get into this. He gives a lot of game here.
To this kind of mindset that, it really is time, friend group, iterations on certain thing and consuming all knowledge available. It's those four things. And do those four things and you'll make it further than you could imagine. And there's outliers. This is what skews a lot of people's perceptions. They'll find an outlier of well, this person became very hyper successful in this.
That's a good point because a lot of people be like, they're so quick to say what works for them won't work for me, but everything comes down to doing what puts you in the best position for success based on what others have done. So if doing this formula will put me in a better position, then I'm gonna do it because it just gives me a higher percentage of reaching that outcome.
Thing, but they didn't do those four things. And there's outliers everywhere. But if you look at statistically the average, right, the person listening to this,
Right.
You're not going to be this 1 in a million freak outlier. Statistically, if you want to make a good income doing something you're not currently doing and you're not currently very knowledgeable in it or have much experience, it's just those four things. Find those people, put in the time, do it. But it's
Right.
if you just listen to every Joe Rogan podcast, you're not going to be a great podcaster. So it's time plus iterations, right? You would have to go do an example of that would be do 500 mock podcasts while also consuming all of Joe Rogan's podcasts, right? So you're doing both.
That's a great. I'm glad he made that point because a lot of us, and starting with myself, I'm constantly consuming information on what I want to do. You have to put reps in.
While also consuming all knowledge available about podcasts, while also surrounding yourself with other people who want to be podcasts. And then, yes, this podcast might have blown up in a year, but statistically, that's not going to happen, right? You have to give yourself the average might be 4 or 5 years. And some people like me take 10 years. And you just have to be so in love with the journey that you're cool with it. You're just I'm just going to do it till it works out. And, it could be as soon as this. More than likely it'll be here, but there's a chance it could be there. And if that freaks you out and then scares you, then you probably don't love it enough. But if you're like, well, I'll have fun while I'm doing it, then yeah, do those four things over the long horizon. And, again, you probably won't make $100 million, but if you want to make $100,000 a year or whatever, it's not out of the realm of possibility. And just those sentences alone, for a young person, they hear it, it opens a third eye in their mind where they've just been told their whole life, go to college, get a job.
Yeah.
This doesn't even exist to them,
Yeah. Again,
That's a great point right there. Ooh, that was a great point.
it's you have to be concerned about the process and doing a thing that you love to do and trying to get better at it. And, it's
That's a cheat code too. When you love to do what you're doing, you're enjoying the process. It's like shooting a basketball. You're enjoying that process of making sure you have your elbow in and fingertips on the ball and following through rep by rep by rep. When you enjoy the process of content, whatever you're doing, it's a cheat code. It's the ultimate cheat code.
$1 million. Well, you could win the lottery. You might win the lottery, but the odds are very low. Or you could find a bunch of people that work really hard. And what did they do? Well, they just kept working hard and they figured out what it is they do and they made money. Dude, that's probably more likely.
Yeah.
So just go in the general direction. And who knows, along the way, you might hit it quick. Something might happen really quick, or you might figure something out and you might be an outlier. But the point is, the process is available. Yeah. And the process is available to anybody. You just keep doing something. You'll get better at it. Be objective. Be self-analytical. Recognize what you're doing wrong and what you're doing.
Continue to look in that mirror. Continue to hone in on that skill. Improving those little things.
Right. And get better at it and constantly try to improve. And just because something doesn't exist as what is your occupation, in a form from 2001, doesn't mean it's not a real job, and just because you can't tell people, if I told people at a cocktail party in 2009 that, I'm a podcaster, that means zero. You tell them today, they go, oh, amazing.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that? It's a job now, right? So how did it become a job? A job because people figured out how to make it a job and they did it and it worked. And so there's a process. So that process exists with virtually anything you want to do that somebody does for a living. Exactly. I don't care if it's a rock and roll star, stand-up comedian, novelist, There's a thing out there that you want to do that someone is making a living. But meanwhile, there's going to be people who's like, oh, the odds of you making it and that. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Are we just fucking playing odds?
But
the odds of you dying are 100%.
The odds of you dying is 100%. That's the way to end the clip on that note. This is a beautiful, this is some real game because it's just a reminder, reps. Put those reps in, love the process of what you're doing, and just keep getting better at it. Don't get caught up in studying too much, and don't always be available to learn and refine those daily practices that you're doing. Man, I'll be back for more game like this. Tune in for more.